Good morning. Welcome to those of you here in person and those of you who are with us virtually. This is All Souls Unitarian Church of Indianapolis, and I am Diane Kennedy. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the worship associate this morning, and I will be working together with Sarah Cannon, she, her, and Reverend Katie, our senior minister, she, Asia, and we are your worship team today. Love is the spirit of all souls. If you are visiting with us this morning, we're glad you're here with us. While nursery care is available, children of all ages are welcome here in the sanctuary. And if you are new or not so new, we invite you to complete a connection card so that we can better learn how to help you along your life's journey. We invite you to bring your whole self to this service this morning. If you find you're in a position where you need a little extra help, our caring team is available to support you. Our Souls Matter topic this month is vulnerability. You can check in the know for how to obtain a packet of materials to engage yourself in this topic more deeply.
Thank you, Diane. Buenos dias. Oh. So we made it on the day of a time change, when it's gray and snow flurries, and we have a bloodmobile out front. We all still came in, and I hope you'll take some time today and donate. They're here from 9:30 to 12:30. Giving blood really does save lives. According to COVID Act Now, we are in low risk of transmission. Masks are not required, but always welcome in the sanctuary. If you're viewing us online now or later, please do like and share this video, and we're glad to have you with us. We're going to have a shorter service today, and I invite you to join our town hall meeting after service, which will be led by your Board of Trustees and myself. After the town hall, I'm headed to Cali, Colombia. Thank you. I will be there until March 26th, but you are being left in quite capable hands of our amazing staff team and also the board members. We have this wonderful section of the In the Know that says, "Who's the boss?" And that will tell you who to reach out to. So this week, Jean and Babette are going to be here and helping out in the office and supporting staff and operations, and then Babette will take over the following week because Jean is also one of the 16 other people who are coming on the Colombia trip. So Nasreen will be in charge of worship with Elizabeth Valencia, and please reach out to the pastoral care team for any pastoral concerns. They can reach me in cases of emergency. Amanda Giorgiani, because Sarah Cannon is also coming on the trip in a week. Amanda Giorgiani, who is in the nursery, will be available for anything related to children and faith formation, and the Children's and Faith Formation team will also be providing support. Charlie and Liz will be back up for music because Gabe is also coming on the trip to Colombia. And in case there's a major emergency, which we hope doesn't happen, but we always like to plan for, David Pyle, who is one of my military chaplain colleagues and also the executive director of the Mid-America region, is on speed dial and can be reached. And he does that for all congregations, so know that that support is there. Now, in this moment of our shared journey, I hope you feel witnessed, and I hope you feel honored for wherever you are on your spiritual path. May you remember that whether you are here for the first time or the 1,000th, whomever you are, whomever you love, whatever your ability, gender, beliefs, political affiliation, or documentation status, you are truly welcome here at All Souls, and you're never alone. I invite you now to please rise in body or spirit and greet your neighbors, especially our new friends and folks who've returned. Say hi to Sandy and Jerry. We haven't seen them in person in a bit.
Why are you always the back?
Oh, Elaine, thank you. She's wonderful. Yeah. Bless your heart. Thank you so much.
Come into this circle of love and hope. Rest your burdens in this space. Come and remember those whom you have lost. Come and welcome those who have joined us today as brand new babes and more seasoned souls. Breathe in your joys and let them radiate out as you share them with this community. Bring your full self, your best, your worst, your everything in between. Come, you are welcome here. Come, let us worship.
The ritual of lighting our chalice reminds us to continually renew our promise to live into our covenant, to put love into action, and to live out the community of love and justice we aim to be. Please rise in body or in spirit as we say these adapted chalice lighting words from James Philip Blake, the same words we have spoken since 1903. And thank you, Kevy, for lighting our chalice. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant.
Today is a very best day. You may be seated. Today is a very best day because we get to welcome and claim responsibility for a family and a child. So I would like to invite Evan and Laura, Lillian, Emmett, and the whole family to come on up. This is a truly righteous crowd of love and support. And know that, family, you are also being welcomed into community today, because when we take responsibility for one of our children in the family, that includes extended family as well. So know that you always have a home and a place of support here, and that we are as committed to you as we are to Evan and Laura, Lillian, and Emmett.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Laura and Evan, what is the name you have chosen for your child? Emmett Leo Snyder. That is a good name. In choosing to dedicate your children into this congregation, you're naming your desire for you and your child to grow and be surrounded by a loving community of hope and courage. This ceremony becomes then a symbol of our collective dedication to be a community where children can grow and thrive, where they are supported and nurtured into their full selves. And yet, the two of you are going to be the main caregivers for Emmett and Lillian. You're going to be the primary spiritual teachers and guides for both of their life journeys. Will you promise to care for Emmett, love him with all your heart and soul? Will you raise Emmett to love justice and live with compassion? Will you extend to him kindness and courage? And will you encourage Emmett to live his dreams? If so, please say, we will.
I invite Emmett's godmothers to move forward, Jenny Hyman and Ashley McCombs. There you are. Will you promise to care for Emmett, love him with all your heart and soul? Will you raise Emmett to love justice and live with compassion? Will you extend to him kindness and courage? And will you encourage Emmett to live his dreams? If so, please say, we will.
And now I invite Lillian to come forward. Lillian, I have some important questions for you. Will you promise to love Emmett, to love him with all your heart and your soul? Will you raise Emmett to love justice and live with compassion? Will you extend to him kindness and courage and share toys? Will you encourage Emmett to live his dreams as you seek your own? If so, will you give me a high five? That's okay. This is for you, if you would like it. There you go. Thank you.
I now invite the relatives and special friends of this family to, well, you're already here. Well done. Will you promise to care for Emmett, love him with all your heart and soul? Will you raise Emmett to love justice and live with kindness and compassion? Will you extend to him kindness and courage? And will you encourage Emmett to live his dreams? If so, please say, we will.
We will.
Children, can you please come forward? And congregation, can you please rise?
Come on, you guys. Come forward.
Will you promise to care for Emmett? Will you love him with your heart and soul? Will you raise Emmett to love justice and live with compassion? Will you extend to him kindness and courage? And will you encourage Emmett to live his dreams? If so, please say, we will.
We will.
Excellent. To symbolize our commitment to your child today, we'll use the elements of water and earth. This is our community water, which is gathered each year, and then we boil the hell out of it, and then we boil it some more. Emmett, may you always find your thirst quenched. May you know the joy of hard work. May your tears be cared for. May you dance in the rain and jump in pools and puddles. Emmett, you are water. Emmett, this is a flower made from the earth. Its thorns have been removed. May you know beauty. May you know that the earth provides all you need. May everywhere you go be blessed by your presence. May all your work be a blessing to the world. May all you do bring joy to the world, Emmett. You are the earth. There you go. I now invite everyone else in the congregation to prepare to share another affirmation. Congregation, children, do you bless Emmett Leo Snyder for the gift of life itself, for being life itself?
We do.
Do you welcome Emmett into this community?
We do.
Will you give yourselves to and share your highest values that we know as Emmett is growing?
We will.
For this is now your fellowship, Emmett, a place for your faith, your doubts, your accomplishments, and your failures. Never be afraid to be yourself within the security and comfort of these walls. And we will give you the world such as it is and pray that you will help make it a better place for yourself and for all of us.
You may be seated.
Thank you. Welcome. We invite you to sing together hymn number 1051, We Are, as we continue to welcome Emmett into community.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises, so sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises, so sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandfather's dream.
Now is probably a good time to remind folks that it takes a village to raise a child. We have lots of kids to raise here, and they're all wonderful. And we have a new child who's not in the congregation. John Larimore and Janet McCabe welcomed a new grandson just a few hours ago. John has pictures on his phone. I'm glad he'll be happy to share them. At a recent Channing Club soup supper, I commented to me that All Souls is not the minister. No offense, but I've been through 6 ministers, and that doesn't include Bruce Clear or Gretchen. And it's not theology, because we're a non-creedal church. To me, All Souls is community. Several people at the table agreed with me. At another gathering, church gathering, of course, this week somebody commented that his next door neighbor had died last November, and he didn't find out about it until this week or last week, which does not strike me as odd. I'm convinced that air conditioning did it. Now, some people will say it was television, but when we got air conditioning, I didn't play outside anymore. And I think neighborhoods have become less and less a matter of community. For those of you who are working, your work colleagues may be your community, but they tend to disappear when you change jobs or when you retire. For some people, there is no community. There are lots of folks who don't go to church, who don't engage in any other kinds of civic activities, but we have All Souls, and that's why I'm here. Now it's time for joys and sorrows, and of course the big joy, we have big joy here with Emmett, and we have another joy with Elliot, and we have a belated birthday on the other end of the scale with Virginia DeForno, who I think is 101 if I remember correctly. And one of the members of the congregation visited her not too long ago, and Virginia commented that she'd been in the gym for 45 minutes that morning. So none of us have any excuses. So happy birthday to Virginia, happy dedication to Emmett, and happy birthday to Elliot. Now please rise and bow to your spirit as we sing I Need You to Survive. It's not in the hymnals, it's not in the order of service, so we're just going to kind of go with the flow here.
this is exactly what Diane's talking about. We need each other to survive. The church is not about the minister. I am here as your resident theologian. I am here as a pastoral presence and many, many other things. I mean, I function as an administrator and so many things, but really, ministers, I mean, we sometimes leave, we retire, we sometimes pass away. So what really matters, we get to hold you for this short bit of time. I'm aiming for 20 years, but we get to be with you on this journey for this short bit of time. And what remains is the congregation that is ever caring for each other. If we're doing our jobs right, we are helping you learn how to care for each other and care for the larger community. Now, each of us has a cultural expectation of what caring means to us. So in my family, caring means that if I'm FaceTiming my mom, she says, "You look terrible. You need to sit down. Do I need to call someone? Do we need to get you a meal? What do we need?" And like the tias show up, right? Like if my family were around, you know, like aunts would show up and be like, "You're doing too much. Now it's your time to sit down and we're going to feed you." And they would take care of you. And you know, that's kind of the expectation, because then there's going to be a time when I'm like, "Oh, I love you, but you look terrible. Can I get you a meal? What can I do for you?" What are your cultural expectations of what caring means? Just think about that for a second. Now, for some of us, it might be like, "It's really nice if I get a card. I like getting a card." You might say that. You might say, "It's really great to get a call," or that someone came to visit me at the hospital. And it is your expectation that your religious community will do those things. Now, for some of us, you're going to be horrified if one of us shows up at the hospital to see you. And you want to turn your phone off when you're having surgery because you want to recover in peace. So part of learning to care about each other as a community is understanding that each of us has cultural expectations of what caring means, and then communicating what it is that we need so that those needs can be met. Now, there are people in this community, an amazing group of human beings that navigate this space of caring like the pros at being human that they are. This is our caring team, which is currently led by Jane Murphy. So I'm just wondering, caring team folks, could you please rise for a moment so we can acknowledge you? Thank you. These fine folks receive your emails, and now that we have our fancy new Google voicemail, they can get your voice messages as well in times of trouble. And they share those messages with me as well so that I can be involved. But they are the ones who are writing the cards and making the calls and magically making meals deliver and doing the meal trains so that we can all pitch in and support people with food when food is needed. You are most welcome. It was a joy and a pleasure. And these are also the folks who, when someone needs a visit, they show up. Sometimes it's me, sometimes I show up, but sometimes I'm out of the country, like I am next week. But you know what? The caring team is an extension of the ministry team in some ways, and also they are the body of caring, the heartbeat of the congregation that will always remain. So it is a beautiful ministry that these fine folks do. And, you know, let us know how you want to be cared for. Also, no one, not the caring team and not me, we are not mind readers. I'm working on it, but I have not perfected that yet. So when you go to the hospital, When you know someone has been to the hospital, let us know. Email the pastoral care team, send me a text message, call the pastoral care team, and let us know how you want to be cared for or how they would like to be cared for. Or even just to say they don't want anything yet, but just keep it on your radar, because that is one of the ways that we care for each other. We don't let someone whose health is failing or who has a health incident not have our support in a way that works for them. Sometimes what happens in congregations, and it doesn't matter, I've served in multiple size congregations. I mean, I just came here from a giant one. This happens at all sizes. Sometimes what happens is someone's health starts to fail and they stop coming to things, and they're tired, so talking on the phone is hard, and they just slowly drift away from community, and then we don't find out until months later that they have passed. And yet we're community. So we want to try to stay with each other. If someone's missing from your sharing circle, check in or let us know. We can check in. And just make sure that they're doing okay and that they know even if they're having a hard time, we're still here. We had a memorial service yesterday for Milton Parks, who was a longtime sexton here. And there is also an amazing team of memorial service volunteers who make sure that we take care of our own when they pass. And the catering that is done, the caring, the flowers, the warmth and welcome to families. These folks do an amazing job. So, Memorial Services team, can you please rise to be recognized? Thank you. And another way that we show caring is by having coffee and hospitality after services. So I know, Diane, you've been doing a lot of hospitality. You even did double duty this morning, didn't you? Yeah. So I would like us to acknowledge all the morning volunteers, our ushers, our greeters, our worship team, our morning hospitality, coffee brewers and makers and servers, and the volunteers that are up there on the tech bridge doing AV as well. Everyone, just please rise so we can thank you for caring for us, for being that warm welcome. Thank you. Thank you for making sure that our services are accessible to people who aren't able to be here in person. We need each other to survive. And there's a place for you to get involved, to help out in a way that works for you and is sustainable. If you have questions about it, you can reach out to me or to another staff member, and we'll find ways to help you engage in the work of caring. Last week, I dropped a lot of statistics from the folks at FaithX, and I'm just going to revive those just for a minute for us to think about how we care for each other in this community and how that begins to cross over into that model of that within, among, and beyond that Rob Eller Isaacs has brought to Unitarian Universalism that I've shared a few times this year. So the within is how we take care of ourselves, our self-care, getting sleep when we need it so our mothers don't have to call us and say, sit down, you look terrible, can I get you some food, right? So we have our self-care and then caring for those within our homes or with our close friends, close family members. And then we have our caring as a community, which we were just talking about, the caring team, the ways in which we show up for each other, the ways in which we study together in our sharing circles or in the adult forum, or other ways where we gather to be witness to each other on life's journey. Of course, coming to worship, our joys and sorrows, being together in this setting is a way that we care for each other. There's other ways that we can care for each other too. What we learned last week is that a lot of us live within a 15-minute drive from here, and the statistic is that 17% of people that are within that 15-minute drive are below poverty level. Now, the national statistic is 13%. So 17%, maybe 17% of those of us who raised our hands, and then a lot more of us are probably really close to the edge. So how can we provide more care within our community to meet the needs of folks who are here and who also might want to be here? Now, in April, Nasreen and Sarah are leading a project related to a food pantry that is going to be outside right next to our lending library, soon to have more banned books. Yeah. And of course, our naloxone box, which we are getting refilled. But next to that will be a food pantry. And we will continue to support local food pantries that need our assistance, but we'll also be stocking that food pantry. And we are going to be keeping some items. Once I move into my new office, Nasreen is going to move into my temporary home, and we'll have some warm weather items in there as well as food as well. So if you have a need, it can be met. We are hoping to revive the food fridge so that if you like to cook but don't necessarily want to deliver, you can freeze something, label it, pop it in the freezer, and then one of us will be able to deliver it to someone who needs it. That's a way that we can sustainably work together to care for each other. And something else that we're considering for next year, food insecurity is a very big issue within a 15-minute drive. And I know for some of us gathered here today, this is the everyday reality that you are living with. And I'm here to say that your church community is here to help. So, some of the things we're talking about on the program team is how can we have more food available, maybe before services or maybe after services, so that there is something nourishing that we can enjoy together. It is a glorious thing to be able to share food and be in community, and especially when it's really helpful for some of us who are on the edge or in need of extra support to have that support from community. So that is something that we are thinking about, and we're also thinking about those midweek events, because again, the average age in 15 minutes of here is 31.7. So if we're going to do midweek events, we should have food. Wouldn't you love to have a good meal before choir practice? As we begin to continue that crossover from our within work to what also serves the larger community with some additional resources, I want to share with you a training that's happening on April 22nd. There was a link in the know. It's a trauma-informed training for de-escalation. And it will help you in your personal lives. It will help create compassion within the community, and it will help create compassion beyond. And I know this sounds like I'm reciting our calendar to you, but here's the thing, and I said this at Milton's service yesterday. Our faith calls us to actually show up and do the work, to reflect on it and figure out how we need to do the work better in our lives. So our calendar is not just a list of events, it is opportunities for faith formation. Faith in Indiana also needs our support. They're doing a major mental health initiative this year. I am appalled. I mean, nationally, it's not a secret that there are serious, serious concerns with our police system, and not having mental health teams that are able to be deployed with the police puts our police officers at risk, it puts the community at risk, and it causes irreparable harm. So Faith in Indiana is working right now to try to get crisis response teams that can be there to support someone if they're having a mental health event so that it doesn't escalate and so that people can get the treatment they need without ending up in jail or worse. So I hope that you will keep an eye on the newsletter and get involved in supporting that work. or maybe being a leader who can help coordinate. And look, I know that there's a history in Unitarian Universalist congregations writ large. You come in the door, so immediately someone tries to find a committee or a team to put you on. And then you can't leave that committee or that team until you move or die. Or maybe find a replacement, right, if you're lucky. As we are reigniting the ways in which we move and have our being as a congregation, the ways in which we care for ourselves and others, we're going to do some rewriting of the old rules of how we used to gather and get our work done so that it is simpler, more sustainable, more joyful, and so that we can do pop-ups where you come together for a project and then you sunset. Come together for a project, and then you sunset. So you no longer have to think of what's going to be on your tombstone at the end of 20 years when you have finally left the committee in the only way you could. Social justice, it isn't just outward facing, it's inward facing. Sometimes we fall into a trap as Unitarian Universalists of thinking that it's us and the world out there, but it's also us and the world in here. And that's where our faith formation and our caring comes to life. And we can only do that. We can only do that by reflecting personally, together as a community, and testing out our theories, and then testing things in the real world. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That is the journey that we are on together. And I do want to spend just a minute or so. I promised you a short service, and I'm going to give it to you. I want to spend a minute or so talking about when people disappoint us. Have you been involved in a project or work, and then maybe you raised a bunch of funds, or maybe you're working with a community organization and they didn't spend the funds the way you thought they would, or they pivoted the organization because the population that was being most served wasn't responding to the model that they were utilizing, and you felt disappointed. Could you just let me know if that's ever happened to y'all? Yeah, right? That happens sometimes. It doesn't mean that being involved in the first place was a mistake. Go where your faith leads you to go, knowing that we disappoint people and others disappoint us. But that too is a part of our faith journeys. And setting accountability and boundaries and navigating that space is also a part of our faith. When we say that we acknowledge the inherent worth and dignity of everyone, that is not a blanket statement that allows people to behave badly. But it also doesn't mean that people who behave badly are inherently flawed. In fact, our faith teaches us that we're inherently good, right? So can we as human beings ever be bad? No. Can we fundamentally as human beings ever be bad? No. Thank you. We are all works in progress. All of us, each of us. And it is through our failures, it is through loving, through accountability, as well as compassion, that we grow as human beings, and that is how we grow as a community. Love is the spirit of this church. You all, you know how to love well. I invite you this week to track how well you're loving yourselves. How much love and compassion are you giving yourselves? How much are you giving the community? And how much are you giving others? And come together and talk about it. Talk about it. We can talk about hard things. Yeah. I have some words I want to share with you. They were going to be the closing words, but I feel like we need them here. These are from David Blanchard. He says, "Do more than simply keep the promises made in your vow or your covenant. Do something more. Keep promising. As time passes, keep promising new things, deeper things, vaster things, yet unimagined things. Promises that will be needed to fill the expanses of time and love. Keep promising. Keep becoming. Keep loving. Keep connecting. Keep reaching out to others because we do need each other to survive and to thrive. May it be so. Amen and blessed be."
Each week, we gather together to align our values with another organization that shares the same values we have. This week, it's going to be Freedom School. We have been a site for Freedom School for the past several years, but with our housing of the migrant Head Start, it's not sustainable to try to do both. And so we are going to commit perhaps a little more monetarily this year to Freedom School since we are not providing a site for them. So you can donate in person or online. If you go to allsoulsindy.org, you find a link that says Give to All Souls on the left side. It's beneath the description of today's service. If your gift is a pledge payment or if it's share the plate, please indicate online or on your check. Thank you for your generosity in supporting the missions of All Souls and for your continued love for one another and for this world. Take this moment to make your gift. The morning offering will now be given and gratefully received.
That was beautiful. Thank you. I leave you with these words by Adrienne Rich. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I've cast my lot with those who age after age, perversely with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world. Let us be for ourselves, our community, and the larger world, the person, the people who, through the extraordinary yet ordinary power of community, reconstitute this world together. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be. Please do get some coffee after the postlude and return for the congregational town hall. Thank you. Do we want to recess during Keep on Moving Forward?
I think it's working now. And let's say, keep on moving forward while we are going out to get our coffee.
Thanks, Gabe.
And I keep on moving
Forward. Keep on moving forward.
Keep on moving forward.
You're not
Never turning back. Never turning back.
Sigamos adelante.
Sigamos adelante.
okay. Thank you.
Siempre adelante.
Thanks, Bill.
Single
Good morning. Good to see you.
Single Gonna keep on
You want to keep a
loving
hand mic or
boldly.
two? We'll keep a hand mic or two, you think?
Keep on moving boldly. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Never turning